Okay, hi, welcome back. My name is Michael Burke. We're still continuing with trying to come up with an arrangement for Like a Stone by Audioslave for solo guitar. We've talked now about how to come up with your bass line. You take the root notes of the chords and you just play them in the groove that the bass player would play them in the song. Then you work out the melody. Now let me play you again the bass line and the melody just played together without anything else. Okay, that will probably be the hardest thing you have to do when you're coming to grips with this style, learning to play those two parts at the same time, and that only really comes with practice and listening and using your ear when you're hearing the recording. How do you do that? Well, you start off in a very mathematical way. You say to yourself, right, I can play each part independently, now I have to work out how to put them together. Take one note at a time from the melody and find out where that note fits in the bass progression. Well, if you listen to it, you can hear that this first note here lands on the first bass note. So that's where we start. We start by playing them both together. I'm trying to get a good angle here. We start by playing them both together because we know the first melody note lands on the first bass note. And we know the second melody note happens, well, we know when it happens because we can hear it in the rhythm. And we know that the bass line doesn't change for those two notes. If you listen to it long enough, you'll work it out. Now the next two notes, we can hear that the bass line changes from the G note to the B flat. And again, using your ear, just listening to the record over and over, you'll soon be able to pick out that third melody note lands exactly at the same time as the B flat bass note. Okay, so let's play that again. Okay. Okay. Same thing applies to the coming melody notes. Just using your ear, working out where they fall in the bass line progression. Same sort of thing there, really. The fifth melody note lands exactly at the same time as that F bass note gets hit. Okay. There's no easy way of explaining this. I hope you understand what I'm talking about here. If not, post a comment and I'll try and reply back. I'm not the world's most natural guitar teacher. Okay. What do? Well, the next thing you do, once you've worked out where all those notes lie, perhaps even tabbing it all out, so you've got it on paper, you can see exactly what notes are played when. You learn it to death, and you make sure you can play it all comfortably. Yeah, maybe I should learn it a bit better. Okay, once you can do that, we're going to add in now our third bit into the mix, and that's the chords. So we're now the bass player, the singer, and now we're going to be the rhythm guitar player at the same time. Now, we're already using several strings, so that doesn't leave us a lot of space to put the chords in. And this will apply to virtually every song you cover. You're never going to be able to play a full 6-note chord when you're coming up with these arrangements, because you're doing too many other things all at the same time. But just by adding in 1 or 2 notes of each chord, along with the root note that is acting as our bass note, you're implying to the listener the sound of the whole chord. So, right, for now, I'm going to restrict the chords I use to the strings that are in between the bass line and the melody. That's quite difficult because there aren't many strings to choose from here. Let's take that first G chord. The first melody note is on the G string, 3rd fret. that leaves me the A string and the D string open to do something with. Now I'm not even touching the A string, I'm muting it. So the only string I'm playing is that D note there. And just by playing one extra note along with your bass note, you're implying to the listener the sound of the whole G chord. And just one extra note will thicken things up a lot. So if I was to play the bass line with the melody, add in that extra note in time in the same rhythm that the guitar player, in this case Tom Morello, would play it, roughly, then the sound really thickens up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you once through the intro, just bass line, then once through the intro, bass line and melody, and then the third time I'm going to add the chords into that. And then the fourth time I'm going to add in a bit of percussion. Now melody. Now chords. Bit of percussion. Can you see how things get a lot bigger now? And the majority of that was just adding in an extra note on each bass note change, just to bring out the sound of each chord. When it came to the first chord, the only note extra I was adding was that D note here. When it came to that B flat, the only note I was adding again was on the D string. The F note on the D string sounds a lot bigger than playing without it. Just by adding one note of the chord extra, you know, because we're already playing the B flat root note in the bass. So adding one extra note, you get a bigger sound. For the F, I wasn't even adding anything. Then we go back to the G. That's an interesting one because the last two melody notes are on the B string. That gives me a lot more space to do other things below. And again, all I'm really doing is adding one extra note there. I'm adding the B flat. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm adding the B flat there. What I should have said, and I'm a plonker for not saying it, is that I'm not playing a G. I'm playing a G minor. That's what the first chord is. It's not a G. I apologise. I'm a moron. And because I'm playing a G minor, that's why I'm allowed to play a B flat there, because B flat is what makes that G chord a minor chord. So, let me play it even slower. Okay, so we've got our three parts there. The last part to add is just a bit of percussion. I have tried teaching people how to get that percussive groove, and for the life of me, I don't know how I do it, and I don't know how people do it, and I think you just practice it until you can get it. Okay? Yeah, but that's really the least important part of it, percussion. The other three parts are what to look out for. Right, we're running out of time on this little lesson, so I'm going to tell you what to go for. Find a song, any song that you like to listen to and you know well. Work out the chords, then take just the root notes of those chords and use them as the bass line. Then work out the melody. Try and play them on as high strings as you can. Work out where the melody falls on each root note, and then try and play both together. Once you can do that, find what strings you have available to you that aren't being used, and fill in the rest of the chords, as much of them as you can. Right, I think that's about it. We'll continue with this later on. Thank you very much. Goodbye.